Trials and Tales. Minecraft's newest update focuses on storytelling and wants us, the player, to tell our unique tales. It did get me thinking that I actually want to tell a new story, not one that I've done many times over, but in this 100 days, I'm going to do stuff that I've never done before. With not only new goals in this video, but I also want to give you, the viewer, a behind the scene look of how I do things and when I do them. Welcome to the 100-day survival in Minecraft Hardcore's 1.20 Trials and Tales update. If you're going to enjoy the video, then please consider subscribing at 5,000 likes and I'll consider doing 200 days. And so our journey begins before the day 1 counter on the title screen. I create a brand new world like usual and load in. And you know the first thing I do in every world? I cheat. Don't worry though, I'm only looking around the spawn. I want to make sure it's a good seed to actually survive 100 days in. Looking at this world, it's mainly just a snowy spawn, so I decided to not have this world. I do this for pretty much every 100 days video I do. Eventually setting along a good spawn with some cherry tree blossoms over there. I set the time to day 1 to keep tracker in the F3 and then begin my adventure. Hello everybody and welcome to 1.20 100 days. Now, there may be a couple of you that are saying, didn't I already do this a few months back? The answer is yes. Do I still have the world though? Now for this 100 days video, I want to do something a little different. As many of you who have watched my videos know, I normally end up doing the same kind of things. Ooh, didn't know these were a thing. Usually I get myself as geared as possible, go into the nether, get myself blaze rods and ender pearls, go to the end and kill the dragon, grab an elytra, and then go and get full netherite. Throw in a little bit of wither killing, a beacon made, and well, you have yourself a little bit of a 100 days video. However, this video, I'm doing things differently. I actually got inspired by TommyInnit, which is somebody who I don't normally watch, even though he is a great content creator, where he was playing Minecraft for basically a week straight, and he was like, I don't want to just do the same things I do over and over again. So for this 100 days video, I won't kill a dragon, I won't kill a wither. I'm going to focus on other aspects of Minecraft. I'm going to focus on the things that make Minecraft. Base building, maybe I'll mess around with a bit of redstone. I don't know, but I want to change the norm. By the end of this 100 days, I'm going to have a really cool base, and you're all going to be like, hey, you're the best builder I've ever seen. Famous last words, I know. And though I plan a new adventure, every adventure starts the same, with, of course, mining some stone, and apparently some coal, a stack's worth, so sure, why not? After searching around a little bit, I actually saw a broken nether portal in the distance, and after heading over, there was nothing good. I mean, I'll still take what I can, and then I set up I put base in quotation marks because this really isn't a base. Now, you may see me stop occasionally just doing absolutely nothing. Well, why is that? It's simple, really. I'm currently writing notes about the days that I just did. I make notes whenever the days are completed or when something cool happens in the particular day that I want to remember, and so I write a note in my notepad. My first focus on day 2 is I wanted to get a bunch of farm set up. So after grabbing myself about 30 seeds, I started planting away. But what's a farm without any water? I began searching for a service cave because I wanted to get myself some easy access iron for a bucket. And then I did find this cave. I won't call this easy access iron because, well, it isn't, but I was able to get in, grab the iron, and get out safely enough. Look at this, a zombie villager on day 2, huh? I can think of a couple of series where that would have been incredibly useful. I will also point out that my note making is normally when I do stuff like cooking, like if I have food or iron to cook. So enjoy the screen of me staring at a furnace because that's what I do. Anyway, I got myself the water down, I made myself plenty of fences, and I began luring every chicken into a nearby pen before trying to rush to sleep. Come on. Come on! Alright, cool. Day 3 and I cheated again. Not doing anything special, I just paused the day counter. Now, as I mentioned, whenever I cook my food, I usually make notes, but there are times where I'm not able to do that. So instead, when the new day starts, I just quickly pause the day counter and start writing my notes up that way. The only thing it really affects is like crops and stuff slightly growing more, but I don't really think it changes anything. I mean, if I didn't do it, I'd just miss half the day and that'd just be less content for you guys. Anyway, I got back to farming, mainly focused on sugarcane farm. It is often something I forget to do, but in this case, I got straight to it. I then made myself a tiny bit of a dig down, hoping to find myself iron. I did find a cave which I was really happy from, but I didn't realize at the time it's the exact same cave that I went into earlier. After a little bit of faffing around, I was able to get myself some iron. Let's just grab some, oh, rip that dream. And then after getting beaten up by a spider, I headed home with no wood. How do I have no wood? I was going to fix that on day 4, 1.20 style. And I also spotted a nice little island in the water over here, and it gave me a really good idea for a build. Now, if you've been around the channel for a while, then you'll know that I'm not really the best builder when it comes to Minecraft, but you know what I'm really good at? Thieving, stealing, taking the good stuff. I mean, this whole 100-day concept was stolen anyway. Suck it, Luke. Don't actually suck Okay, I still remember when you commented on one of my videos a very long time ago, and that made me very happy, even if you're probably not going to see this like you. Anyway, fanboyness aside, this is a Minecrafter I've only had very limited interactions with in the past. They're making a really good hardcore series. I'm not sure if you guys want to check it out. I'll put a link in the description. And in episode 1, they made a base like this, which for the record looks amazing. And now I'm going to steal the design. Not exactly. I want to make something similar, but not the exact same thing. My idea was to make the ring around the house to be filled with different wood kinds, different biomes if possible. At this point, I counted that there was 11 wood types to get. And yes, I did go into creative world to check how many wood types there are. I don't know that off the top of my head. So the first step is to get as many saplings as I could. I already had a good supply of saplings around me, so there's 3 saplings off the board. I realized on day 5 that there was no way for me to get any of the other saplings without traveling. But before I do that, I decided I wanted to get myself some armor, even if it's just iron. After a bit of mob fighting and a tiny bit of iron mining, I sadly ran out of food. But I did walk away with a grand total of 11 iron. Really? Is that it? At least I can start cooking, and for those who are wondering, yes, I did make notes during this time. Also, good news, I got my first piece of wheat this day, meaning I can now lure these 4 cows into the same pen with chickens. Also means any cow and chicken that are not in this pen around the area, I could just simply murder without the fear of running out of them. It's a really simple way for me to get a bunch of food very quickly. And on day 6, after making some leather boots, an iron chestplate, an iron sword, and an iron shield, I bred the animals one last time, made a note of my coordinates, and set off into the world. I'm going nomad style. Something I've never really done before in Minecraft, which is kind of cool. But I was excited for the change. Let's see what happens. Not like I had much of a plan on day 7 other than just walk and hope to find some of the other saplings. I did find spruce wood this day, so that gives me spruce saplings off the board. Also, another behind the scenes look. You ever wondering what I'm doing whilst I'm not showing my voice and I'm just playing Minecraft? Well, I know you're looking at that cave and you're feeling kind of brave. Go to bed, you'll be alright. Don't mind that night. Don't mind that night. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, moving on. Safe to say that day 8 was an interesting day. Firstly, was running around the dark oak forest. Oh, hello. I haven't found one of these bad boys in an eternity. Let's get over there. And as I got closer, I found an azalea tree, which reminded me azalea trees are a thing, and I only written down 11 wood types, and azalea trees make it 12. Oh my god. Oh, squaw. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Give me a warning next time, my guy. Now, with just an iron chestplate and leather boots, it would be such a stupid idea to enter this mansion. I would die so quickly, but oh, he's going in. I cannot believe that worked. I did quickly stop on day 9 to cook a little bit of food, and to pass some time I popped into the cave to see if I can grab myself some spare iron. Did find myself quite a few creepers down there, but also I found myself a bit of spare iron, so I'd say it was a good trade-off. After upgrading my tools, we set off again. I got myself to an ocean by the night, and on day 10 I started boating away. Found myself a ship, it had a map, and because of the thunder, I was able to sleep again. Love days like this. Day 11 and I found myself in the area where the map was, and I began digging. And when I tell you that this is very sped up footage, this is very sped up footage because I didn't find it for a while, let's say, and when I did find it, it wasn't really worth it at all. Anyway, let's head out. Day 12 and hey, a savannah village, which means yes, there are saplings. There's no way I was going to be able to get saplings otherwise than this village. After traveling through the savannah, I found a jungle, which means one thing, melons! It also means bamboo, and oh hey, a temple over there. Oh hey, I had some trims in, which is really cool. I guess I should probably pick up some jungle saplings too, why not? And then it rained again. This world is full of rain. I did find myself a desert on day 13. It didn't really have anything special, at least until I found the pillager outpost, which also had nothing. I did have a little bit of fun here though. There was some iron golems trapped in here, so I decided to release them and watch them fight. It was a fun time. Oh yeah, I also upgraded my armor, so I now had full iron armor, which was pretty good. Can't really afford the dying, as the kids would say. Anyway, moving on. Day 14 and I found myself another ship, which had another map. Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. Anyway, I was on to the land where I found myself another broken nether portal. Wow, there's nothing good in here either. Just my luck. At least I found myself a desert village that had a camel in. Now, if this wasn't 8,000 blocks away, I would probably make an attempt to getting back to my base, but it's 8,000 blocks away. That wasn't even the best thing I found this day. Look at my mangrove wood. Oh my god, that's amazing. Yoink. Now, I did a little bit of maths on this day as well. With the 3 that I already had back at base, I had 7 on me, which means I currently had 10 wood types. Meaning, apart from the 2 wood types that you can get in the nether, I had fully completed my task of hitting every simple sapling. That's the good news. The bad news, I now have to travel thousands, and I mean thousands of blocks to return home. This is going to be good. There really wasn't much to report on day 15, other than I found the worst village I've ever seen. It had 2 houses, 3 villagers, and 1 camel, and one of the villagers was a nitwit. Like, what's this village even doing here? And what's my report on day 16, I hear you ask? I had a very good bowl of cereal. That's all. Thanks for checking in. I did get a little confused on day 17. Now, when I noted my quartz, I noted them as -200, -400, and when I got that was nothing. The good news is I very quickly figured out what I did wrong, as I headed to +200 instead, and there it was. Took me 17 days in total, but I have returned home with all the saplings in my pockets. We just need to get to the nether ones. Also, thanks to the structures that I found along the way, I now had the materials I needed to make an enchant table. Who needs like deep slate caves when you've got broken nether portals and buried treasure maps? I don't know. Anyway, after breeding the animals, loading up of course, I then slept and ended my first day of recording in this world. The next day, as in real life day on day 2, which was day 18 in game, I started the recording sessions the same way every single time. I quickly run over my notes to remember where I was, just basically catch up myself. And then I start noting my notes? Sure. I then cleared out the crying obsidian in the broken nether portal, just so I could fill it out to be a proper portal so I could turn it into another portal. I did have to head underground, found myself a nice deep slate layer, and after grabbing myself 4 lava buckets, a little bit of faffing around, I fully made myself the portal. And on day 19, in we go. God, this spawn sucks. I did manage to find myself a crimson biome pretty much straight away and got all the mushrooms I needed, because luckily the warped rise mushrooms spawned in crimson biomes. Also had a very quick near-death experience. It's just classic Minecraft things, I guess. At least I can get out of here safely. Alright, never mind, cool. Long story short, I got myself back safely, and now with a little bit of maths, I can figure out how to make a circle in Minecraft. Yeah, I'll make things simple for you on day 20. Basically, what I did was I chose a center block and then went 50 blocks in every direction to be able to make a circle around it. As you can tell from the spectator view, it should give you a good idea of what I'm trying to pull off here. Unfortunately, I don't have literally any idea on how to make a circle in Minecraft. Luckily, Google exists. There are plenty of stuff on there, Google, and you should really try it out if you're ever working on these kind of builds. And one of the things that it offers, it basically makes a rim for you, a circle for you, using a tool where you just add in the depth and the width and stuff. It's really useful. This said I needed a rim of about 196 blocks. Yes, I counted. And being the genius person I am, I decided the best block to use here would be stone brick. Which means after doing a little bit of maths, I need 784 pieces of cobblestone or 12.25 stacks. And if that doesn't make sense to you, it shouldn't, because it doesn't make sense at all. So I introduced to you the first rendition of the Havenhand quarry, pattern pending, of course. Sadly, with only efficiency 1 iron tools, this was definitely gonna take a minute. Unfortunately, I realized on day 21 that was a dirty, rotten lie. I thought it would take 4, maybe 5 days to complete, but nope, I had 12 stacks of the cobble already on the first day. It was really quick, actually, very surprising. I had an auto cooker set up on day 22 for the stone, and now it's just a waiting game. So let's set up a couple of farms, breed some animals, and decide to head into the caves, because there's nothing much better for me to do. Got myself some lapis, a little bit of iron, and even found myself a diamond, which was nice. I found more diamonds on day 23. I had a grand total of 3 diamonds. Yeah, I know. And other than focusing on some gravel grinding, I found nothing else really. And after finding 1 more diamond on day 24, I decided to call it. Heading back up, I did my best to stay in the area so the furnaces would be loaded in. So the cooking was still happening whilst I was caving. At least I think so. I also grabbed that gravel for one simple reason. I can duplicate the dirt making coarse dirt, so I can fill it in the circle when I inevitably have it. Also, the 4 diamonds that I got, I decided to make into tools, a shovel and a pickaxe, but I wasn't going to use them just yet. I do want to set up a level 30 enchanter, and that seemed like the smart move to do next. So whilst waiting for the stone to cook, I got working on that. I realized on day 25 that leather was probably going to be the harder of the 2 to get between leather and sugarcane, and so I went around the area murdering all the leather dropping animals, is what I've called them. I already got myself 21, so just like Bon Jovi, I'm already halfway there. And then after nearly turning all of my sugarcane into sugar, which would have been hilarious, I was able to make myself 19 bucks. In case you don't know, for a full level 30 enchanter, you need yourself 45 bucks. So let's focus on bringing the animals a little bit. A runner? Not in my Minecraft video. Although cooking wasn't fully complete on day 26, I decided to make it work on the build anyway. Now, don't ask me how, but I may have already made a mistake on this build. Being a smart person, I thought that this was 50 blocks wide, which it technically is if you go from the center. However, I obviously need to double that because it's 50 blocks in every direction. So basically all the blocks that I calculated originally, I was about half off what I needed. The good news is though, the stupidity of Havenhand has kind of equaled itself out, because I originally thought that for every 4 cobblestone you needed, I get 1 stone brick. Basically, I did the maths wrong with how much cobblestone I needed, and so I actually got double the amount that I originally needed, which means somehow the stupidness has equaled itself out, and I could complete this build without mining any extra cobble. Basically, I was getting to work and have the first quarter completed on the first day. Alright people, it is day 28. I may have accidentally forgot to record me doing most of this, but it's done as you can see. We'll look all the way around there. You can see it very far in the distance, all the way over here, and now, don't ask me how I've done this, because I've followed this this circle to the T, and somehow I have kind of accidentally done this. You ask me how? I guess I've got to now try and figure this one out, because I've definitely made a mistake. If you couldn't tell, somewhere along the line, there is a 4-block mistake. So this is going to be fun to figure out. You know what it is? I've already figured it out, actually. Like, 2 seconds is taking me to do it. So basically, on each one of these long bits here, they're 14 long on the chart. And if you want to quickly pause and count, there's only 13 along here. I didn't think it would have mattered that much. Fortunately, I'm pretty sure this is exactly 4 blocks short. Yep, 4 blocks short. Okay. The only way for me to really fix it is... oh god, I'm gonna have to take half of it down. Oh lord, I've made a massive goof here. I'm really gonna have to take half of it down. Oh, find me in the Alps. To all the builders out there who like do this regularly and make giant builds, like, do you enjoy this? Why do you enjoy this? Day 30 and I fixed it, sort of. 100% there's going to be a mistake in there somewhere, but I don't think you can notice, and I'm not too worried about fixing it fully. You want to know the funny thing about this? This is part 1. I have like 17 more parts to this build to complete it. Figuring out the middle, which somehow doesn't line up. This is why I don't do big builds, guys. This is why I always make it simple. So it took me a minute, but I think I figured out the mistake that I've made. Basically in this circle, and I'll show you over here to give you an idea. As this goes 14 along, it goes like 6, 5, and all this. But you get to this segment here, this where it's a bunch of 2s in a row. And if you count it, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and moves on. And that is correct for this one. It's correct for that one. It's also correct for that one over here. But you could probably figure out what I'm about to say next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which means that, technically speaking, I've done 1 extra here. It means that the center here doesn't fully match up with that over there. And it also probably means that the mistake that I think is over there, because it doesn't fully match with each other, that's the reason why this is gaffed up. So for what I believe is the 3rd or 4th time, I'm going to have to rip apart probably all of this all the way until there and have to fix it again. I'd like to just stop the video quickly, pause the music editor, Haven, and just say, if you are a big builder, if you have put massive efforts into build, congratulations, because I'm on phase 1 of this build, and I haven't got it right once. So, yeah, mazel tov. Should have just killed the dragon again. I'm so good at that. So I'm about ready to give up. I fixed it. I bring it all the way around, and, well, it's linked up in a way that it's going to go past it. I don't care. You know what? I've decided I don't care. It's going to have one really long side for some particular reason. But by fixing it this way, yeah, this is now correct. So I just have to get rid of this layer here. Okay, fantastic. So we've partially fixed it. Like I say, there's still a gap over there. I'm still going to get yelled at in the comments for making that mistake. I apologize. It's been too long. I need to move on. I need to actually get the build done, because if not, we'll be here all day. Oh, this is the full 100 days just fixing this circle that I just can't seem to fix. And it took forever. But I finally figured out where the center was. I was able to celebrate with some cow slaughter. Day 33, the cow slaughter did get me enough leather to make all the bookshelves needed. I just needed a tiny bit more paper, and that's why you have a sugarcane farm. Oh, I'm 1 short. Not even 1 book, 1 sugarcane short. I'll make sure to cut that out so I'll look better. And 15 bookshelves later, we just now need, well, the levels. Now, as I said at the start of this, I do want to do things a little bit differently, but I mean, like, quartz mining is just the most simple way to get levels. And listen, it's a no-brainer, surely. Come on, guys. I was planning to get 33 levels, but unfortunately by day 34, my iron pickaxe broke as I got to 31 levels. Very sad times, I know. Day 35 and let's do ourselves an enchant. Really? Well, sadly I do need myself a good pickaxe if I am wanting to continue, so I headed back to the nether. It was only day 36 where I got myself to 33 levels. And on day 37, I got myself home with 36 levels. I cleared out the enchantment on my diamond pickaxe, and it ain't fortune free, but I'll take it. Also, the shovel was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. Anyway, it was back to the build. Now, with all this dirt that I had collected, I was hoping to have a lot done. Spoiler alert, I didn't even think I got a third done, which, yikes, I think I may have made a huge mistake here. Fortunately, there's nothing to be done for now. I made my final notes and then entered the second day of recording. Now, before we started recording on day 3, I actually did something a little bit different. I knew the centerpiece of my ring needed to be a very fancy house. However, as I've already stated, I have the building skills of your 5-year-old cousin, and I really couldn't risk ruining this entire build. So I did what Joe Cocker said, and I got by with a little help from my friends. Are you really laughing at the word cocker? Seriously? This is Omni. He's a good friend, great builder. I would compliment their streaming skills if they ever did stream, but there you go. Asked for a little bit of help. Maybe they could give me some advice on how to build some stuff. But they were a little busy at the moment, and so I decided to get to work digging out some dirt whilst I was waiting for them to reply. Think I have enough? What do you guys think? Is this enough? Here's hoping. An hour later on day 41, and it wasn't enough. All of that dirt, and it wasn't enough. Are you serious? And by day 43, with one dirt rummage and placing later, and we are fully filled in. Now I just need to clean up the coarse dirt. Why I thought one stone home would be enough to do this, I'll never know. I got myself 3 more, and that somehow still wasn't enough. And on day 44, it was done. It's magnifique, if I do say so myself. Wait, I missed some of the coarse dirt. Son of a... I actually had to stop today because of personal reasons, so this already ended day 3. However, little did I know that me ending earlier than planned was actually going to change quite a lot with happening in this world. How's it going, gamers? How are you enjoying the video so far? I hope quite a lot. Updates have happened. Today, just to give you a bit of a timeline, it is March 22nd, and the reason that's important is because Minecraft has just updated. I was playing on 23W07A, I believe it was, and 45 minutes ago of me recording this, the Minecraft is now updated to 23W12A, and because of that, it means that a couple of things have been added. There's a couple of things like, you know, edit signs after you place them. There's a couple of new armor trims to include, but the new one for me is there is now a sniffer egg in the game, and you can find those in a couple of places, but one of the coolest, I believe, is in what's called a trial ruin. And I think whilst I'm waiting for my good friend Greg to give me some cool ideas for this build, I'm gonna go and see if I could find myself one of these trial runs. Now, there's not too much information about them from what I could tell. So what I'm going to quickly do is go into Creative World and just mess around to see if I can find roughly where they are, get as much information as I can, and we'll take it from there. So, hey, let's do a timescape. Hey, I'm back. If I'm correct, it's mainly taiga biomes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my bed. So let's go this way instead, so we can find some schnitzel, and we're back to traveling again. And when I do finally come back, I'll work more on the super cool base. I do want to point out, by the way, the fact that I am 45 days in. I have literally little iron. It's just been a lot of traveling and doing this kind of build. It's a very different 100 days. Let me know if you like this kind of thing, if you like me doing different things. Like I say, dragon fight, wither fight, that kind of stuff. I do it a lot, so it's a nice change of pace. Anyway, let's go exploring. And so on day 46, I began my traveling. I found myself a cool stalactite cave, which I thought, that's neat, that's interesting, that's worth noting. And it was on day 47 where I found myself a tiger, and it was a big boy. Like, seriously, this tiger was massive. But on day 48, after exploring a little bit of the tiger, I thought I saw something. And heading over to the general area, and no, it wasn't anything. But wait, yes it was! I had already found one, which for the record, they're actually not that common, so this was kind of cool. There is a problem though. I forgot that to use this kind of thing, you need a brush, which, well, I didn't have one of those. It's alright though, I only need 1 copper, which was the easiest fix in the world, and that's when I realized that you don't need string anymore, you need feathers. And when I tell you I've passed 1,000 chickens in my adventure, I don't think I would be kidding. It's fine, there was 3 chickens over here. And on day 49, here we go. This is my honest review of the new structure. These are quite fun to explore, at least the first time of doing so, but to be 100% honest, this particular structure adds very little to the game. Sure, you can get the decorative parts, but most of the loot consists of useless things like candles or glass, which is just not worth it. I more than likely won't be searching these structures again unless I'm looking for the pots itself. And at the time, I'm going to be honest, I was quite disappointed after searching it for more than 5 minutes. It's even more disappointing to know that I couldn't have got the sniffer egg, which was the main thing I was looking for, but I didn't know that at the time, so I guess I can let that one go. However, after pausing for a little bit of time on day 50, I came back to recording a few hours later with new information to be found. Basically, I had now learned that the sniffer egg can only be found in warm ocean ruins. So, guess what? I'm gonna go traveling again. Really, I'm never gonna finish this house, am I? Another note I made on day 51 was that this world is apparently mostly taiga, rooftop forest, or birch tree biomes. I'm not sure why, I guess that's just the general spawn in the area, but oh hey, a village. This village was pretty cool actually. It had 2 whole blacksmiths, and neither one of them had anything useful. Fantastic. But I will say on day 52 that 2 useless blacksmiths are much better than 0 useful anything. This village was a 2 out of 10, like seriously do better. Now I did find this ocean on this day as well, but it was just an ocean, and it specifically says it has to be a warm ocean, and so unfortunately there was nothing to be gained here. On day 53 I felt like I was finding everything I needed except the warm ocean. Like I found this jungle, and on the other side of the jungle there was a desert with a desert village in, and there was also a desert temple and a broken nether portal. But where that farting warm ocean was, I don't know. The village had nothing good, the portal was not much better, but after searching the temple, ooh baby, Depth Strider 3, and ooh baby, Depth Strider 1. What? Ooh baby, more templates. And also if you don't know that the new update actually added a new room to the desert temple, and it actually had good stuff from like the trial ruins. Got myself 2 Dug Down Dimmadones legendary, was able to make myself a sword, and I think we can all agree that everything is coming up Millhouse. Then on day 54 I had found it, coral, which means there was a warm ocean right there, and unfortunately this warm ocean was tiny. Also look at this weird pillar over here, which is weirdly 10 blocks in the sky for no particular reason. I thought that was weird. Anyway, moving on. I also found the warm ocean expanded out in a different direction, so I was able to find myself a ruin, and after started searching away I got myself some more shards of pot, like so many shards that to the point where I was getting a little bit nervous. Like what if this ruin didn't have an egg? Well, after finding an army of drowns, I searched what was probably the last couple of pieces of suspicious sand, and success. It only has like a 6% spawn in as well, so I got very lucky here. Anyway, let's head home. On day 55 I realized that as fun as traveling is, returning takes 7,000 blocks, so we're gonna have to walk quite a bit back. I was able to search a couple of things like this pillager outpost or this temple. The other thing I noted about traveling on day 56 is that it's kind of hard to commentate. There's not really much to say other than, hey, I walked back. What, do you want to see me boat for like 20 minutes? What, you think you're cool because you want to see Havenhand in a boat? What are you? Cool like the cool kids? Anyway, the joys of seeing my giant circle, not so circle platform, I had done it. I had now placed the sniffer egg down and then went to sleep. Day 57, I got right back to building. The first plan was to make a center ring, since that's where the main house build is gonna go, and it did take a bit of messing around, but we got there in the end. Now, before I say what I did on day 58, I do fully acknowledge there was probably an easy way to do this, but I needed to count the outside ring to just know the general radius, diameter, whatever you call it, just so I can obviously know exactly where I need to build my stuff. I counted 275 blocks on the outer ring and made myself 12 sections for each wood in the future. Basically, every 22.92 or 23 blocks, I need to add a new section in, and so I went around counting 23 blocks apart and started adding blocks there so I know where to separate the sections for the end of the circle. You'll see what I mean when it comes together. Days 59 and 60 was pretty straightforward. I was making sort of a curled pattern to the center, trying to split up the sections to make them look kind of cool. I was just hoping it looked good by the end. And on day 61, here is the grand reveal. No, it's nothing special, but I still think it has come together quite nicely. I did make a couple of tweaks though. There was a couple of things I was unhappy about, but yeah, I think it looks good. Anyone else getting Hunger Game vibes, by the way, or is that just me? But before I continue any further, I need a little bit of help. You guys know Just Kerp, you know Austin. If you don't, what do you mean you don't know him? What do you mean you're not subscribed? You're not subscribed? Are you okay? You're not subscribed to my friend? Just, are you okay? Well, just like Omni, I would also say that Just Kerp is a really good builder. But unfortunately, Omni was way too busy to actually help me out here, so Austin offered to jump into creative world with me and help me design a build for the center of the platform. It probably took us about an hour for us to create a center house, and other than some extra designs and interior that I was going to work on, he got me a basic outline structure set out, which I quite like. The two most important things to know is number one, I'm going to need a lot of cherry logs, and number two, I'm going to need a lot of deep slate. Let's do the cherry logs first, since they're right there, and even after chopping down just this small area, I think I got myself enough. Day 62, and oh hey, the sniffer spawn, that's nice, I guess. Anyway, I was thinking it was kind of crazy that on day 62, this was like my, what, second, third time ever going into a deep slate cave. Like seriously, I've not been in here that much. Like go back and watch most of my 100 days videos, you'll see how often I'm caving, but in this case, I've gone like 4 times at most. I was aiming for about 9 stacks of deep slate, that should be enough, and so my idea was to do a bit of strip mining at diamond layer to see if I can get myself any more diamonds, and it was very quick for me to be able to get enough deep slate, but unfortunately, I didn't find any diamonds, which I thought was quite disappointing. And so on day 63, it began. I am now going to recreate this build in my world. This is gonna suck. I just want to quickly show how I'm doing this, by the way. It's kind of hard to tell, but in this world and here on the right screen, it's me in the world. Here we are. Hello, it's me. However, if you go over to the left screen, this is the creative world that me and Kerp worked on, and I'm doing my best to recreate the world as is. Except I have two monitors, I'm just doing it in the two way that I'm doing it at the moment. To show you guys, this is tedious, and making sure everything is correct is difficult. That being said, next job is I have to work on the roof, and oh boy, is that not going to be fun. Day 69, people, and I finally finished the exterior. Now for the grand reveal in my world. Oh, there it is. Ah, there you are. Kind of love it. I love it so much. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest. I, just like the rest of this build, there's probably something wrong with it, but I'm okay with that. But I think it's, at the moment in time, the only thing I've really done is the roofing design, and I haven't even fully completed that. But for what I wanted this build to do, Austin has done a spectacular job in making sure this looks good. But yeah, the outside looks great. The outside looks fantastic, in fact. Sneak up inside, pretty straightforward. But one thing I do like is that, you know, the first layer, the layer right there, that layer is actually like the first layer. This is like a basement area, which is gonna be like storage and stuff, which I'm really happy about. That was all of Austin's work. Appreciate him. Make sure to go check him out, as I mentioned earlier. Now I gotta work on this myself and make it actually look like pretty, like interior. And, you know, adding some designs and stuff. Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute. I have some ideas though. Let's mess around a bit. I began adding leaves, tried to add some stuff that I thought would add some color as well. As much as I love the color pink, there might be just a little bit too much pink here. It was on day 70 that I say I had the outside completed. Admittedly, I didn't do too much to it, just leaves galore basically. And then I added something to the build that wasn't originally in the build, but I decided to do it anyway, where I added an upstairs area to the build. We only really planned the main floor and the bottom floor, but I felt like there was enough space for me to get something in here. Then it was on to the stair making and the basement. I did have to move all my stuff over from my quote-unquote base to my new base, which definitely took a minute. I reset up my enchant table, and for the first time, let's make it note, people, first time in 71 days I had slept inside a house. That's definitely noteworthy. And then on day 72, I decided to add a couple of things to make the inside of the house nicer. It wasn't much, but my plan was to try and make it, well, home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Now, I've done a little bit of a time skip, which was something I wanted to avoid, but there's some stuff that I've done to the house that I feel like I should show in one go. So, here we are on day 76, where we're going to do the grand tour. Now, please take into consideration really quickly that obviously not everything about this is complete. I mean, the house itself is complete, but the outside isn't. But this is a general view of it. Obviously, the outside rings, these little things are going to be filled with like trees and biomes and cool stuff. So we'll get that on that in the near future. I feel like I've already shown the outside, so I'm going to quickly show one thing that I've added, and then we're going to move on. Now, we had a chimney in the original design. After looking at it again, I wasn't a big fan of it, so I actually went against it. But then I decided that the chimney, a basic chimney being added to this, actually does help it. So that's kind of the chimney that I've added. And as we walk in for the first time, I still haven't got a door on, so here we are. Here's our humble little abode. Got the pots and moved them over a little bit because then there's more space. Little carpet area. Made a nice little table. I made this, which I saw online and I thought was cool. It's supposed to be like a couch settee, whatever, wherever you're from, and I kind of like it. And there's some paintings over here. Don't get me wrong, there's not much here, but there's enough to go by. Down here, I think I've already showed all this, but here's a quick look in case I haven't. Why are you there? And finally, the upstairs, the interior. I got obviously a little carpet area. There's some little bookshelves over here. Here is the entrance to the campfire that goes up. A little bit of a chandelier of sorts. And then obviously we've got the bed. And yeah, I think I can officially say 76 days in, I'm pretty done with this build. Is it perfect? No. I mean, it's me building, what do you expect? But it's probably the best thing I've ever built. I mean, the exterior is definitely the best, even though I didn't technically build that. I mean, I did build it, but I was sort of copying something. Now we need to get all these sections their own, like, tree biomes. So let's go grab the saplings to get on that. So I grabbed some saplings. I started placing them down. I did forget that I left the other saplings growing over there, so I'm gonna have to run over there and grab them. I think I have enough cherry saplings. What do you guys think? And then on day 77, I had an idea for the cherry tree area. Basically, what I did was I grabbed a bunch of petals that drop off the cherry trees and cherry tree biomes and made a path down the center of the section for the cherry trees that basically you'll walk through if you chose to. I then planted trees down the side of the cherry blossom petals and hoped that it would look cool like if you're walking through it. I also had a similar idea for the mangrove trees, but instead of using petals, I used like a water stream that goes down the center because obviously it's supposed to be like swampy. Unfortunately, a lot of the footage is me just messing around and basically cutting down trees and replanting saplings, so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip ahead. Here we are on day 81. All the areas are now covered with trees, except the nether. I didn't realize you had to bone meal them. I thought they'd grow naturally, so yeah, let's move on. Now it's just about making each section look as good as possible. I did have a bit of spare bone meal, so I was trying to bone meal and it wasn't working for some weird reason. Unfortunately for me, I didn't know this at the time, but it requires you to get the crimson and warped forest block for you to grow the crimson and warped forest tree, which of course requires silk touch, which, well, I don't have. That's a big yikes. For now, let's light up the areas with torches, try and make sure nothing spawns, and here is an aerial view thus far. I'm not gonna lie, I quite like it. For now, on day 82, I'm going to return to the nether, but before I do that, I decided to take the nether portal that I had and put it into one of the sections, and then just have the nether portal there, just so it looks a bit more natural. Oh, hey guy, how's it going? So let's get some levels grinding. It was day 85 where I was about to get myself to 39 levels where I nearly got killed. I do have to remember that I only have basic iron armor and I could literally die at any point. I was able to get the 39 levels though. And so on day 86 I enchanted a pickaxe, which unfortunately wasn't good. But the second time I did get silk touch. And since I have the leftover levels, let me enchant a sword. The first time wasn't good, but the second time, hey, I got something good. A little bit of deja vu. Alright, it was quickly into the nether I go. I got myself a crimson biome pretty much straight away since I spawned by one, so that wasn't a problem. But at this point, I haven't really searched the nether, so I had no idea where a warped forest was. So after getting a little bit jump scared, I set off into the world. I'm not gonna lie, on day 87, I have just written the words, yeah, this is great. I don't know what that means, but yeah, apparently I'm having a good time, unless I'm being sarcastic. I really don't know. I found myself a warped forest on day 89 and I gassed. Alright, we are now heading home. And when I got back on day 92, it was straight to work. Firstly, working on the crimson biome, and then the warped forest. I had those little bush things that were there, and we are done. Here's the final sky view, by the way. Again, I think it looks really good. The last thing I really much wanted to do was on day 93, all the penned animals that was over there, I decided to try and lead them over to my base, so all the animals are running around, which I thought would add a quite natural feel to the island. Unfortunately, animals are stupid, and I hate them, so this literally took all day, because some of them just wouldn't follow me. And on day 94, I was basically done. But if I do decide to do a 200 days, I would really like your help in the comments. What can I do to make each section look even better than it currently does? A lot of it is quite basic in the moment, which just has the tree, so what could I potentially add? I do have a couple ideas, but again, that depends if I do 200 days, so let me know again down in the comments below. But like I say, for now, we are done. I waited until day 99, watched the sunset one last time, and slept. Ladies and gentlemen, we had made it to day 100.